great map. It's going to be interesting to see how these map bans play out. And what we are going to be seeing here is a glass ban there from Liquid.
Very typical as well coming out. I mean, glass we see it banned all the time. Nip, I'm thinking maybe a Ying ban coming out from them, honestly. I don't like this. Unless there's a Maestro getting banned now, I don't like that teams are constantly banning Ashe, especially against Liquid.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because I think everyone's just terrified of Ashe at the minute. Everyone's terrified of Ashe mains. That it's just such a large portion of your banning potential to use to ban such a specific operator. It just leaves so many more options on the table. Ying, Blackbeard, you know, Blitz. We've got all sorts of options there.
And smart ban from Liquid now, realizing there is no Ashe on the table. They are going to be bringing the Maestro here, banning out the Mirror here on border. That's also going to ban out Julia from one of his favorite operators. So this is looking already pretty good for Liquid. I honestly think they've won the op ban, so.
They might well have done, like you say, having the Maestro available with no Ashe on the board can be quite a big deal. We've got Zafir. Zafir is obviously still going to be very capable of dealing with those evil eyes, as is Buck, as is Finker. So there are multiple ways, but I think, like we've said, the Ashe charge is the most efficient way. And Wag there just baiting out the Monty pick, switching over onto the IQ. And Gohan there just switching over off the Pulse, so he's done a pretty neat debate there. Really, he's kind of forced Wag to switch out onto the IQ for fear of the Pulse, but has since switched onto the Smoke, so going to lose the shield there on the push. Which, if they've had an idea for that and they had a pretty specific plan as to what they wanted to do, that could be quite influential in this first round.
It could be. It could definitely be very influential even. Hopefully we'll get there eventually. I'm interested to see a Finker pick come out. I think they kept the Finker because they realized there's no smoke from Liquid, but then Gohan stick picks onto that, so he will be bringing it. Very interesting indeed. You don't regularly see a Finker from any of the region, but Latin America really love bringing it, especially Yuna, but you see other teams do it as well. Black Dragon is definitely one team that used to do it as well.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Finker again is quite a specific operator that I think there's value in bringing it, but I also think there's other things that you can bring as well that maybe provide a little bit more utility. Maybe not on this take particularly, but maybe a Sledge would be a good substitution, or you know, even a Blackbeard, and get out on those vents windows and try and play for a pick through there.
Yeah, Blackbeard can be pretty good here as well, and we often do see a Blackbeard ban on border. But here we go, we get into the very first round of Team Liquid, who take on Ninjas in Pyjamas. Don't forget, this is best of 3 series. The winner will be going to the Invitational, but the loser does get another chance in the lower bracket finals against Black Dragons. Let's see how it does go down. We've seen quite a lot of vertical play being brought out. That is a very interesting shield in mini office there.
Yeah, with the hatch open as well and the evil eye, so there's a lot going on there. I'm not sure, is that maybe to deflect a grenade off from maybe destroying the evil eye?
I think it's allowing him to just peek off of it, just simply as that, and then he can play the offices and he can put the smoke in the corner to then have to plant the box. I don't like the fact that teams are opening up that bottom hatch in mini and they're not playing downstairs.
I think it gives you a nice option to be able to dip out if you need to and make that rotate up main. There's no advantage on playing underneath the hatch, I don't think, too much, because as long as you're not really, I mean, that shield's really going to come into a good play there, because it's going to be very difficult for Buck to throw a grenade up through and deal with the shield and deal with you that's playing there as well. But Psycho's going to open things up with a nice kill there onto Gohan, removing the smoke, a relative ease. Shots are going to come flying in there, and Zig is going to be lit, but Psycho is going to be lit as well. Neither one managing to land the killing blow there, but certainly taking a large portion of either each other's hit points. And the nade there is going to come in from Pino. Beautiful nade onto Sexy Kate. What about that?
This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday, where Brazil teams tend to have these specific grenade spots that they know how to line up through the map. Beautiful nade coming out then. Also, that's the smoke and the mute off the board already. That's going to allow Finker to just move in here and quickly get control of the site. Hopefully, it's all down to Nesk really to just actually push off this attack. He has got Zig playing hopefully near him. He was around in Arsenal. We'll see where he is going to be around. It's going to be Palu, who's also be playing around onto Archives, and there we go, Zig is holding down. So no map control coming out from Liquid. Ninjas should be able to capitalize off this quite well.
Ooh, nice peek there from Blue, just managing to get some shots in, but not quite managing to land the killing blow either. And he is now down, but not out. Not a lot of hit points now remaining on the side of the defenders, and it's all going to be down to Nip to make this push in the final few seconds. But Nesk and Zig are going to pick up the kills of their own. Wag is going to get one onto Nesk. All comes down to these final seconds. The diffuser is not in hand, and they're not able to get the plant down. But the attackers, they do manage to get the kills that they need. Very scrappy towards the end there. It could have gone either way.
Almost really well played. Just having Zig just hold down into half wall where he was. I think Nat's asking for a rehost. I'm not sure if we're going to have one. I'm hoping that's a joke. I don't read Portuguese, unfortunately, chat, but, oh, well, looks like we are going to have a rehost. That's unfortunate. So, hopefully, the time is ticking, of course, and we are getting right into the game now. Thank God for that. We're getting round number 2 underway. It's going to be Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Team Liquid. Ninjas in Pyjamas looking very, very good for themselves right now, and as you suggested, the Ying is going to be coming out from Wag.
Nice.
And again, 6 picking off of the Blitz, of a shield.
I would have liked to have seen the Blitz, I think. I think I'd have liked to have seen the Blitz, maybe more than I'd have liked to have seen the Ying.
I really think that when Ninjas bring a Blitz, they almost always bring it on Julio. They don't bring it on anyone else. Wag is a great shield player, but I think Julio is such an iconic Blitz at this point. I'm not sure. But, I mean, he's done some devastating work on Blitz. He's definitely one of the better Blitz players in the game.
Blitz is a great operator border as well. You can really take over some good control. The rooms that we talk about often are Office and CCTV, and a Blitz can really aid a push through one of those rooms to be able to gain that control to move on to whichever bomb site it is that you're going to be attacking. And I mean, imagine a Blitz in conjunction with the Ying. That'd just be devastation right there.
It could be good devastation coming through there, but you are going to see the Ying coming out. I feel like there's no real place to bring the two of those, just looking at Ninjas in Pyjamas and their top lineup here. Liquid taking the same lineup, however, themselves, and look like they're doing pretty much the exact same setup as well. I'm not sure if I agree with this.
Like you say, we've not got the Finker this time on Ninjas in Pyjamas, but I'm not sure about the Valkyrie. I think, you know, being able to see the IQ was there before the 6-pick phase. These cameras are just getting found pretty much straight away by Cycle there. He's going to waste no time, and that's going to allow them to operate a little bit more safely on vents, as it does look as though that's maybe where the push is going to come from this time.
There's a lot of teams that they'll do one strategy, they'll lose it, and they'll convince themselves they just made a few minor mistakes and they can easily correct them and they can get through easily. And they're so slow to adapt. We saw that quite a lot from August during their games. They were very, very slow to adapt, but once they were changing it up, they started to take a number of rounds.
It's the adaptation again, and it's being able to change things on the fly, and that really is what sets, you know, top tier teams apart from everybody else. And if you're able to make these changes and you're able to, you know, understand what's going wrong, why it's going wrong, and what you can do to counter that, that's really when things start to change. And like you say, I don't think there's any harm in taking the same lineup for the same site, you know, two rounds in a row, because I mean, look at the time so far. There's a minute and a half left on the clock. There's not all too much control being gained by Nip here. We've still got a couple of guys that are playing outside. Pino there is just going to be eyeing up a nade, no doubt, getting his drone in a nice little spot, and I think he's probably going to go for it here. And if he's good, he could get 2, but I'm not sure if they're going to be there. Now the ADS, you just see the ADS there just striking. So Nesk learning from the mistakes last time, making sure there's an ADS on that sandwich window, and Pino's not going to want to waste another frag grenade on that, because he's not going to be able to do any good work from that window this round.
Yeah, not just yet though. Sexkick is going to be playing below, and I love that he's playing down here, but he is going to start getting pushed out. There is going to be a buck as well on the board, and Sexkick slowly going to get pushed out of this position. He is going to go for the SMG-11 peek, but doesn't get the kill just yet. He's still trying to peek it out and see what he can do. Nitro does come out from Sexkick. That should be beautiful. There goes Psycho. Oh my god, what a Nitro coming out from Sexkick. Hopefully he should be able to pick up another kill here. Just see him. The nade goes out, but he takes the kill. Pino goes down as well. Beautiful from Sexkick.
Sexy going big downstairs in the vents with the SMG. I wasn't too sure that he was actually going to get that kill there, but he did manage to pick it up, and that's made it a lot easier for his team moving into these final 15 seconds of the round, as we've still got Kamikaze downside. Smoke grenades are going to come out from Johan. Kamikaze is going to pick up the kill onto Sexy, but Gohan is going to get a shotgun kill of his own onto Wag. The diffuser is not in hand. 2 quick kills there coming out to close out the round, and that's going to be a good round on the board for Liquid.
Yeah, much better from Liquid. I think, honestly, that round was completely saved by Sexy Cake. And the fact that that ADS wasn't burned by the time that Pino put his nade down, which kind of suggests that that Ninja's Pyjamas, didn't really have the info that they needed. So they tried to go below, they tried to get the info, and they tried to push out the defenders. They had 2 people downstairs, and Sexy Cake doesn't care, because he will kill them both.
Yeah, as the mute, you can't really ask for more than that in that scenario. The C4 kill was perfectly timed. It's at that point you're almost panicking a little bit, because it seems like quite a lot of utility to use on that kill. But if he doesn't use it, he's not able to get that kill with the SMG. He's not able to then get the kill onto Pino, and Buck can just open up the floor for free. So it was just such a good use of making sure that he didn't leave anything in his back pocket and die with anything, you know, die with his C4 in his hand. He was able to use it to get the kills. And it really worked for him. Like you say, that round was definitely won through Sexy Cake's plays there.
Definitely. No doubt about that. We're going to move through into round number 3. It's going to be Ninja's Pyjamas, who, again on the attack in round number 3, but they are going to go downstairs to a ventilation room and workshop defense. So far from Liquid, it's been pretty typical. We haven't really seen too big of a difference in their setups and their defenses. Interesting that Liquid definitely preferring the double shotgun. We mentioned about how the shotgun is just so powerful right now in this current meta, and we've seen so many both in Pro League and in our matches so far that the shotgun has just been time and time again so hard to contend with.
It's just that devastation up close, isn't it? And the ability to be able to chain kills together. I think that the players now have really figured out the timings of it, and you can quickly peek and get 2 pumps off in nice succession, and you can just take on multiple attackers in those close quarter environments, because the attackers are always going to have some sort of assault rifle. I mean, the shotgun's on the attack that they can use, but it's not viable to choose it for early on in the round. But late on in the round, those shotguns just really come into their own, and it's something that the defenders are really getting on board with. And I think it's partly due to the mute booth as well. The mute booth.
The mute buff coming through.
It's called the mute booth. It's a fact.
The mute booth coming through has, yeah, it's definitely gave him a bit of a better loadout. But as I said yesterday, people have been running mute shotgun long before he even got the SMG-11. So it's not necessarily a new strategy, but I think it'd be particularly devastating on maps where vertical play is a big issue. And, you know, Ninja's been taking Buck every single round, which is pretty typical for this map. With a shotgun, you can fight back, though.
Bomb located by attackers.
I think it's just the fact that you don't have to take the pistol, you can take the SMG-11, which is you know, we've seen it time and time again. It's got the ability to clutch out rounds. It shreds through absolutely everything, even shreds through BB's shield. You know, it's a great weapon. Pino there is very much aware that we've got the mute playing on top of the box. He's going to put some pre-fire out, and that is going to scare Gohan off those top boxes, and he's just going to rotate back down, moving halfway point now in the round. Good control's been taken by Nip. They've got a little bit of upstairs, but they're not pushing all too quickly there, as Ness is going to pick up the kill onto Kamikaze. Sexy Cake is ready as well with his cross, as the nades are going to fly through from Pino. Cooked to perfection, but doesn't manage to get the kill. I thought that was going to be a surefire kill onto Ness there, but it was not meant to be. Pino's there, got an evil eye to deal with, which is going to be pretty tricky at this stage, seeing as he has got no nades left on the table. And this hold upstairs from Liquid coming out is certainly wasting a lot of time.
It's wasting a lot of time, and yeah, this is exactly what you want. But from Ninjas here, they don't really need control of Arsenal. They don't need to push out these defenders from Liquid here. They can just play safe. They can take Archives control, and they can go straight for events push. There we go, Pino going to pick up the kill onto Gohan very, very easily as he does go through. And there we go, Zig is going to be in sight, trying to get the kill desperately. The QE spam coming through, but there we go, oh, it's going to be Psycho who takes him down, easy as that. There goes Zig, and now Liquid have lost site control. But there we go, Palu is going to strike back. There goes Flag through the vertical play. Liquid still have complete vertical control here. This could go very well. Sexy Cake's going to drop Julio. Ness drops down. He takes down Psycho. And now it's all down to Pino in a 1v3. He's going to push all the way through into Archive, see what he can do. But he can't do much. Sexy Cake takes it down with that ever-famous shotgun. Liquid take round number 3.
skeleton key there, no match for the pump shotgun there as it does the work at close range. What a great hold upstairs there from Team Liquid. They really committed to that armory hold, and it really stood them in good stead for later on in the round. I thought that it was going to be very, very close when it was Psycho, I think, that pushed in and got the kill on to the man down in sight with the IQ onto the Valkyrie. Yep. Valkyrie kind of missed the shots there, and I thought that was going to be a bit of a tipping point of the round, but it just wasn't enough because upstairs control hadn't really been gained.
Yeah, it's true. And I mentioned how they didn't really need to take armory control. They could have just taken over archives, which is pretty easy to do considering there's 3 entrances and a main wall to go into as well. And it seemed like they didn't have control there for a while, but they kind of gave it up. They let Nesk push them out with the wide peak. Like, as soon as he got that kill, Nip completely rotated and tried to take the site without any vertical control. And I think as soon as they started to do that, even though they did get an impressive entry kill, that's instantly traded out. And then from there, I don't see where you go as ninjas on their attack. But we're going to see Team Liquid moving into round number 4 as they're going to go a different defense. It's going to be the customs coming from them. What do we think of this defense?
I think they're probably wise trying to switch things up again. There's not really any advantage to going back upstairs into armory. Because they're going to have to defend somewhere else at some point. Customs really always lives or dies on how well CCTV is held. You can see here that we're going to be playing with some hatches open, which is going to allow Liquid to rotate back down. I sometimes like to see a castle coming out on this objective.
Castle's pretty good here just to hold on to customs. I don't necessarily disagree with not bringing the castle here, just because it is good to play aggressively. I really like that Sexy Cake has impacts here, and some people may be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's so good for just opening up surprise angles just all of a sudden like that. And if you don't need the barbed wire, I would definitely suggest bringing the smoke with impacts.
Yeah, like you say, the impacts there, they're going to be enabling the impact trick, but unfortunately Sexy Cake doesn't quite manage to get that off as the exothermic charge is going to detonate. But yeah, I mean, impact tricking really is becoming something that's quite an important tool for the defenders to get a handle of. And I'm not sure. I think the angle there, maybe of the impact that was thrown, was just possibly not quite. Yeah. I think it was a little bit too acute, a little bit too sharp. So, but yeah, like you say, if you can afford to bring the impact, then great. I think I'd be tempted to bring the impacts if I was maybe bringing the Legion. And try and keep the barb on the smoke, just because I think that the barbed wire can just provide so much, slowing down, especially in the final few seconds, which is where the majority of these pushes have been going on.
I think the only room for a Legion here, though, in Liquid's lineup especially, is Nesk. But I feel like they need the Valkyrie here for a downstairs defense, just to keep run-out potential going on, because you could run out these stairs here, keep passport control, and you can just be all over the shop with it. So, we'll see how it does go through. Nip are making good progress on their attack, and that is exactly what they needed right now. Pino going to pick up Nesk for free, and that's looking much, much better for them. That's Arsenal control going into their favor. Psycho does pick up Zig as well, and now it's a 3v5. All of a sudden, not looking too good for Liquid. They're starting to drop like flies, and they haven't had a single refrag.
No, and when you're holding upstairs, you really can't be letting those kills go without a refrag, because it's only going to be Sexy Cake now playing on site on his own. Going to get a kill there onto Psycho, and now it is a 4 versus 3. Although not looking good for Palu there in CCTV. He's going to have to rotate down at some point. Gohan there just getting harassed by the drones. They're going to have a very good idea of where he's playing at this point, down in vents. And he's just getting ready to be pushed through from Wag, who's going to be playing over near Bathroom. The kill there is going to come out from Wag. 4 versus 2 now, as Nip now they've got a lot of time to make this execute happen. Sexy Cake's got smoke, so he's going to be able to deny a little bit of time there onto the hole that's open through Passport. Diffuser's going to be picked up. Julio's going to pick up that kill onto Sexy Cake, and it is all now down to Palu. He's still upstairs. He's still playing for his life, trying to get some picks. Flash grenades now are going to come out, and he is going to get hit by that. He's only a couple of bullets at this point, and the plan is surely going downstairs. But Pino, it's not going to matter anyway, because he's going to pick up that final kill.
Great attack again coming out from Nip. I feel like from Liquid, they relied quite heavily on the impact tricking coming out on detention, and as soon as that detention wall was opened up and they had another exothermic charge to open up Passport, because you can impact trick Passport as well, and I really thought that's why he was bringing the impacts, because detention is quite a hard angle to contest, and at the same time you can go for a crouching thermite, and I'm pretty sure you can't impact trick the crouching thermite there.
It's a difficult one because if the thermite charge goes off, you've really got nowhere to go. You're going to have to go through, you know, tight doorways and tight angles to be able to get out of there. So you're not actually going to be able to escape with your life if you're unsuccessful. I think the main problem there for Liquid was they just weren't trading the kills out upstairs, and they couldn't rotate off upstairs because if they gave up all that, you know, so much control, Buck was just going to open up the floor and it was going to be a nightmare downstairs. So they really just left themselves with no position other than to just try and hold upstairs a little bit still, but then people on site were getting pressured downstairs. So it was just a really impossible position. But I love the shield now coming out onto WAG in the form of a Monty.
Yeah, I'm glad that he stick-picked off the Havana here as well, just because I'm not a big fan of two hard breaches on this top floor attack. I think a lot of people do prefer this sort of two-pronged attack, something that a few North American teams do as well, where you open up onto Archive's wall as well, but your main take comes from box. I don't mind it, although, you know, also bringing Havana here, you can open up back to Fountain, but these days, and you can see Liquid is doing it as well, where they're going to place CCTV and they're going to play it as if there was a mirror on 90, but obviously it's not a mirror. So, and there's no bulletproof camera from them. They do have Maestro, and I'm assuming the Maestro is going to go into 90. I really don't like that Maestro from Zig. I get why he does it, and that's a fairly popular Maestro to do these days, but it just seems so easy to get rid of when there's Zofia on the board.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not 100% keen on the setup coming out at the moment from Liquid. But, you know, we'll have to see how it plays out. You know, you say that it's easy to get rid of. It's going to involve, you know, Kamikaze actually getting to that point, and here we go, we're going to see him now getting onto the rappel. Julio there just going to be trying to burn any ADSs that are going to be placed in Sandwich, which will open things up for Pino and his frag grenades. He's already been successful from that window, and I think that that's exactly what's going on there. Pino just going to bide his time, wait till he gets some good information on the drone as to whether it's worth sticking a frag grenade up there or not. But Nesk playing tight inside security room, the rotate behind him, so he's got the option to be able to dip out of there if he so wishes. But there's a lot of stuff open here coming out from Liquid, and I do quite like it because it's going to make the push a little bit difficult for Nip.
It is going to make it a little bit more difficult, but we're going to push through further into round number 5. Just about halfway through the round now. It's not looking too good for Nip. They're kind of all over the place with this attack so far. They haven't really achieved any major objectives. I was kind of hoping that someone would have rotated around Locker Sandwich now and tried to go for that nade, but I think they're waiting until they actually have control of box first, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing to do, because as soon as you have control of box and you're pushing into armory and trying to go for the plant, then you're going to have to play someone in offices, and I'm pretty sure Nip are really hoping to pick the smoke so they can just push in with the Montaigne quickly.
That we can say about this Evil Eye that you were mentioning earlier, it's going to be able to easily spot the Monty as he comes through to Armory Wall, and Gohan there, like you say, very well positioned there to just whack a smoke on the other side of that reinforced wall and detonate, and that really is going to slow things down, and it'll make the Thinker pretty much useless at that point, because obviously the Thinker boost is going to affect everyone. Here's the grenade that we've been waiting for coming out from Pino. I'm not sure if it's going to hit a mark or not. It does manage to take down Zig, so that's going to enable the push to come through a little bit, because that Evil Eye is now going to be out of the game unless Zig gets revived, which he does, but Psycho's going to get a grenade kill of his own onto Palu, followed up with a kill with the LMG onto Gohan, but meanwhile WAG has been able to push his way fully into sight, and he's now able to harass Zig. Kamikaze there picking up that kill as Zig is forced to move on. Nest getting the kill though onto Kamikaze, and WAG trading that one straight back out, all now down to Sexy Cake. He has not got the shotgun this time. Is he going to be able to catch somebody on rappel? He is. He's going to pick up that kill onto Pino. 3 versus 1. The diffuser has gone down. Thinker Boost has also come out, which is going to make it even more difficult. Psycho going to pick up that final kill, and that's going to be a round on the board for Nip.
Really well played from Nip coming out there, especially with the fact that while they didn't pick the smoke, they did pick Zig, and I think Liquid made a really bad choice in the fact that they tried to go for the revive and they tried to push through, because now, even though they did get him up, that is just removing spacing. That's essentially turning it into a 3v5 as the push is coming down. So I think that Liquid made a little bit of a tactical error there and tried to go for the revive when potentially they should have not have, and then Psycho just runs to the side and gets the kill. And that's exactly what I was talking about with Thinker being the crux. That even though Smoke was still on the board, Psycho was still able to do so much damage with the Thinker here. And I'm still so surprised they're still bringing this.
It's difficult, isn't it? I think the thinker was so well timed then, it really didn't come, you know, it really didn't give them any detriment whatsoever. But yeah, I'm surprised that we're still seeing the Valk come out. I mean, I'm not sure how effective it's been at this point, but having said that, I do very much like that Nesk's over on the Legion now.
Well, they did this exact same lineup when the last time they held onto Vent, and they held it pretty much completely up top. The last time though that Nip, they didn't get control of upstairs. They kind of just got pushed out by Nesk, and then they just tried to rotate down below, and they just tried to push there instead. They got completely decimated by it, and that was kind of the end of the story for them.
Moving on into the round now ever so slowly. We're going to see Wag bringing out the shield yet again, which did him really good last round. He was able to push into the site and really start to harass some people and cause, you know, just causing defenders to move out of the way, and the crossfires were already established and set up from other members on his team, which just made it so easy to pick up those kills in those dying seconds of last round.
Yeah, definitely was very easy indeed, but let's push through into round number 6. This is going to be the final attack round coming out from Ninjas in Pyjamas. I would say that border is very even. It's 50-50. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. And I think that if it's a 3-3 scoreline, that's completely fine for Liquid. If it goes to 4-2 to Nib, that's a little bit worse. And that's definitely not the scoreline that I would be expecting at this potential. But we're going to see Liquid, they've already taken this defense once successfully, but I think this is more Nip defeating themselves than anything. But now it looks like they have a little bit more control than they did last time.
You can see there the Goo Mine's already picking it up onto Psycho. Psycho going to be already about half health, so he's had a little skirmish already this round, and lost a couple of hit points for his troubles. Got Palu there, just going to be on his evil eyes, just figuring out where this push is coming from. Beautiful peek there coming out from Sexy Cake. What about that onto Pino? Great operator to take out pretty early on in the round. Going to lose the frag grenades, and I think Pino's been getting some decent kills as well. So great early pick there from Sexy Cake. He paid for it a little bit. We did lose a couple of hit points for it, but he can get reset now. There's plenty of time left in the round, and he'll be back up on half health in no time.
In no time whatsoever. It's going to be Psycho just pushing through. Thinker buff does start to come out. Nip desperately need control of this upstairs area, and this, if a smoke comes out now, that's going to be devastating. I'm pretty sure that Gohan still has a Nitro up on the board, so that could be very good indeed for him. But Psycho going to push all the way through onto the opposite side to see what he can do, and holding desperately down onto the mini office. He's cut off the rotate completely, but Nesk still looking very strong. Oh my god, what a shot coming out from Nesk. He just deleted Psycho from the game. Now it's a 3v5, and Liquid looking very strong to take this round right now. Ninjas, you can see, they're rotating again, but they have nothing to push out these defenders, and Nesk just gets another kill.
Julio now trying to make something work in the bathroom, but he's going to come up against the shotgun. Doesn't manage to get it done. That's going to be Julio picking up Gohan, and Sexy Cake getting another one, trading it straight back out. It's all down to Wag on the Monty. He's left with not a lot of choice at that point. Paolu's going to pick up that final kill. Great round for Liquid there.
A great round indeed coming out from Liquid, and that is exactly the scoreline that I was expecting here in the first half. Let's go through into the second half now. Liquid are going to be on the attack now here on border. As we move into round number 7, it's going to be an Armory, Lockers, and Archives defense coming out from Ninjas in Pyjamas to start with. And a pretty typical lineup coming out from them, although they are bringing the Bandit, which is interesting. Which, you know, you don't really normally see a Bandit here anymore, just because it's so hard to Bandit trick that Armory wall.
Yeah, it is very difficult to have the security, although we're not seeing a book coming out on the other team on Liquid, so it could be made a little bit easier unless we're going to see the 6 pick there from Gohan, which we are. So yeah, Bandit tricking that is going to be a nightmare. Clash 6 picking off the Maestro. I'm not sure how much, you know, how worthwhile that actually is at this stage.
Well, there's not really a lot that they can do to deal with Clash. I think that the main thing to do with Clash is the Capital, just because that's doing the most actual damage. Zofia charges, yes, but Zofia at this stage is kind of using more for ADS than anything. And yeah, maybe they were hoping that the 6 pick would come out. I gotta say though, yeah, I agree with you. I would have liked to see a Maestro here.
I think the Maestro just provides so much more in this scenario. It's not only is it another gun, but I can't think of where that Clash is going to be able to operate safely without being able to be dealt with relatively quickly, unless the Clash is going to try and play downstairs with some support and try and make it impossible for the Book to get underneath and stop the Bandit trick.
Yeah, it definitely going to be able to. But let's go into round number 7. This could be Liquid who start out on the attack here, and that's going to be their first half on that attack. So, Stack are going to be playing very aggressively around this Arsenal wall. If you're going to do this, you need someone playing CC though, in my opinion. Or you need someone ready to just run out behind you, and I think he's just got that with him. Clash, you can play very aggressively, but if you're going to do it, you need someone right there on the support with you. It really does rely on how good your roamer is.
Yeah, it comes down to very similar as to how you would play a Monty, and that you try and play someone that can peek behind the shield as well. And like you said, I really like some holes in the CCTV wall there that's unreinforced, just so that Psycho's got a bit of visibility through there and he can call out any pushes, because at the minute, you can see the attackers there, they're going to be droning out CCTV quite heavily, and if they're able to operate in there relatively freely and get a good foothold in there, it can be very difficult to root them out, and the wall eventually will get opened at some point. You can see there, Neski's already wasted no time straight in CCTV. Got guys out on the west rappel as well, and now Gohan is going to be able to go underneath and shortly deal with these bandit charges.
Yeah, he surely will be able to do so. He's kind of playing very aggressively, and yeah, that's why he'll be doing that. That's a great pick already coming out from Gohan, but Zig is going to pick it up finally. That's going to be the Clash already dealt with very, very effectively. That's quite a lot of utility going already from Ninjas, and no trade coming out for it.
And at this point, you've not got 2 Evil Eyes left that you can, play off and you've got information from. So I just really don't know what they were expecting to happen there. With seeing the Book come out on the 6th pick, I guess the Book wasn't there in the initial picking phase, so that's maybe why they sixed onto the Clash. But like I said, there's nowhere that Clash can operate relatively safely on this map.
That is definitely very true. But hopping into just about the final minute here, Nib. They're not looking too good already losing their Clash, but then when we look at Liquid's progress, they haven't really made much, and they're really going to have to go for this last second push if they want to do anything here. We got plenty of planned out. I think that Julio does actually have a Nitro, so that could be very beneficial.
Oh, Wag there just taking a heavy amount of shots as he's going to throw another toxic bait out into the fray just to try and stem the flow of this push. Gohan there going to pick up that kill onto the smoke. So the smoke canisters are going to be no more. Julio just trying to put some shots and trying to find something, but Kamikaze does manage to find Palu, and he manages to get a rotate off as well. Pino very well positioned here for a bit of a late flank. He isn't going to pick up that kill onto Nest. Neski's going to find his head. It's now 2 versus 4 as the kills are going to come through thick and fast, and Liquid are going to close out that round.
I think that entire round was all Gohan, honestly. He killed the Clash single-handedly from below. He also got the pick on half wall, and that meant that Liquid could move very thick and fast, just all the way through. That's one of your phrases. I'm using your phrases now. I'm turning into you.
I can't believe that there was no roam presence downstairs. Like you say, Gohan won that round just off the Book, just being able to open up. He opened up the floor and got 2 kills just with the skeleton.
I don't mind not having any roam downstairs if you don't really have the utility used, right? If you don't have a Valkyrie cam position for a Nitro from below, if you don't have a Pulse, then you don't need to play down below. But I would have liked to see maybe some holes opened up from below, from above, sorry, to stop him from getting so far in and just doing that. I mean, you can open up a hole on a half wall, and you get an angle from there onto the front door sort of hallway. And if someone had been playing half wall and looking at that, whether they were or not, we didn't quite get to see. But if that had happened, I think they would have been able to pick up the kill onto Gohan, and I think that was a major flaw that either they hadn't opened up holes or they weren't paying attention to them very quickly, and Gohan just gets all the way in there, and he gets a really early good pick.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you can see there the scoreboard shows he has only got 2 kills, so they were in that last round. So he's obviously flourishing a little bit better on the attack than on the defense. And it just goes to show how powerful Book is as an operator. If you're going to let him operate on a operate vertically like that, kind of unchallenged really at that stage. I guess there's no reason to have everybody playing on the site either, so there's definitely potential for letting the Valkyrie or maybe even the Jaeger, once the ADSs are down in the site, play in that downstairs area.
Yeah, we'll see how this is going on as we move into round number 8. This is looking particularly dire for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They had a very uncoordinated defense, and I really just didn't enjoy their setup, but hopefully a little bit better this time. I love this drone from Zig. This is going to allow him to drone out completely onto open office, but oh, Kamikaze is going to see exactly where it is. He takes it down. I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing a Twitch.
Yeah, with Mirror not available, it's not every day that you see the Twitch, but I guess the F2 is arguably one of the better guns in the game in terms of, you know, damage and fire rate, and obviously accuracy as well. So he's able to get rid of some of the static cams, which, you know, that's neither really here nor there. They're usually dealt with fairly swiftly. Julio going to be kicking things off with a kill onto Gohan. So Julio obviously there playing downstairs, saying, nope, not today, Gohan. We've seen what you can do with that book from underneath, and I'm going to shut that down relatively quickly. The Docby as well has sort of sneaked in there under the radar. There's a lot of changes coming out from Liquid, considering they had such a successful round last time.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily against that because, you know, as we talked about adaptation coming out, I think Liquid are pretty good at doing that and, you know, not just shutting themselves down with it. But there we go. Palu going to move all the way in. He gets Waggy's Kamikaze as well. That's a 2K from Palu. He moves all the way in as a Twitch. And I guess, yeah, that fragging power of the F2 just really coming into its own. That's already the smoke off the board so early on.
You just can't argue with that weapon at that range. He's able to pick up 2 really nice kills there. You can see a Docby call came out in and amongst all of it as well, which is going to no doubt give the attackers a little bit of intel as to where these remaining defenders are. Pino there is going to be playing downstairs, just kind of biding his time, going for a nitro rip. It doesn't look like it's going to hit, but if he's going to have to detonate it to find out. Nope, doesn't quite manage to hit anything with the nitro, and that's certainly going to have alerted the attackers to his presence. Another phone call comes out. He's definitely going to be able to be heard, especially with that hatch open as well. Final few seconds now, and the push is going to start coming out. Smoke grenades are coming in thick and fast, and the plant will no doubt start to go down. Julio with the nitro toss doesn't manage to hit his mark, but it will have opened the soft wall. He's going to make his way all the way inside and get the kill onto the man with the diffuser. Psycho is down in the background. Palu and Ness picking up 1 each of their own. All down to Pino now. He flicks onto Palu's head and picks up that kill. 1 versus 2. The diffuser has been picked up. There's plenty of time left for the attackers, and the plant is going down. Sexy Kate now is watching this angle for Pino. Pino went outside, exposed himself. Sexy Kate is going to take his head off for his troubles. Brilliant round there from Liquid.
There was really good intel though coming out from Ninjas, and I think that was what Liquid failed to really deal with effectively, because they were all over the place in archives trying to get that plant down desperately, and this is the big disadvantage of having smokes when you don't have a glass available. Is the defenders can just push through the smokes and get quick control, and we saw Julio do just that. If his nitro had gone a little bit deeper and he'd done it through the door rather than onto the wall, he potentially would have picked up a double kill and turned that entire round around for Nib.
Yeah, it was nearly the play of the round, but it just didn't quite manage to come all the way through. I'm not sure how though, because the kill, you know, you would expect to get a kill onto the guy with the diffuser in the site at that stage would have been absolutely massive. It was just purely down to positioning that he was able to be refragged pretty much straight away, and the way that Liquid had set themselves up from other angles as well, and the fact that they had a bit of a man advantage at that stage as well. Everything kind of just played into their favour at that point. And it's looking pretty good for Liquid now. We're sitting on a scoreline of 5-3. They're 1 round away from match point. They're yet to lose an attacking round. And we're going to have to see. Ninjas and Pyjamas are desperately trying to find something new here. They're going to be taking us downstairs, and you know, armor's really not working for them, so it makes a lot of sense to go downstairs.
Yeah, as we said, teams will typically go to a different site when they start to lose one site 2 times in a row. I haven't really seen anything. I don't think I've seen a single team yet during the qualifiers who haven't followed that pattern. So it's pretty typical indeed, and this is kind of the angle I was talking about. Not this way, but if you look behind where Pino is right now, I'm just kind of disappointed it doesn't open up that angle, because I think it's such a powerful area to contest from that front area. And I really don't see, because they do have the castle, but I don't think there's a castle actually down on Vent's door.
No, a castle on Vent's door is pretty... I don't know, a castle on Vent's door goes either way, I think. I think it's much more beneficial to use the castle on Vent's window. Because if they manage to get control of the window and they can hold an angle onto the rotate and the door's castled, you're going to struggle to retake that, especially if you're not already upstairs.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. Palu going to get all the way in here, and he's actually going to take out the Bandit charges already. Bandit does find his drone, but that's quite a lot of utility off the board already coming out. and they're going to know he only has 2 shot fires left remaining. He will put both of them down. That means he can't bandit trick now, but there is no Thatcher coming out from Liquid, so it might be a bit difficult for them here.
Yeah, they're kind of sort of looking around, trying to find the answer at this point. I think Palu's going to have to risk another drone, but there's absolutely no way that Psycho's going to let him get away with this. He is going to manage to get one and both of them with the aid of a flash from his teammate, and he's still got his drone alive as well. No doubt now, Psycho is going to have to, you know, sort of back off a little bit in Armory. He doesn't need to play this all too aggressively. They've wasted over half the round at this point. Finger boost with the F2, what a dangerous sight that is.
Yeah, definitely very good indeed. This is great progress coming out from Liquid, and just using that bait with the Twitch drone there, where he shot down the door and they started to push flashbangs in. Then, you know, he realizes, Psycho realizes he can't contest that angle now. He has to come back, allows the Twitch drone to go in. Great take coming out from Liquid already. Great objectives already achieved by them. This should start to go into a flurry of kills, but oh, Psycho is actually going to pick up Nest before he can do really much damage with that Zofia. This is not looking too good for Liquid all of a sudden.
No, not at all. Dockery Call is going to come out. That's going to make it a bit more uncomfortable for Nip. C4 comes out from Pino. I think he managed to hit the roof with that one. But he's going to get a kill onto Palu, basically for free, as Palu's just stood in the middle of the breach. It's going to give Pino time enough to answer his phone. He's definitely aware that there's another one playing around the breach area, but he's pretty much got nowhere to go as he's stuck in Sandwich, maybe even looking for a run out and back in through Vent's window. I'm not too sure at this point. A lot of time being wasted now on the team of Nip, which is exactly what they need. Another Dockery Call is going to come out. Pino is just going to narrowly get away with his life. Sexy Cake is almost certainly going to pick up this kill, and he does, dropping down straight into sight, wasting no time. Kamikaze going to take out Zig. Gohan finding his own onto Wag, 3 versus 2. 10 seconds left on the clock. All down to Liquid now to start picking up some kills and get this diffuser down. Sexy Cake doing just that, picking up the kill onto Psycho, but Julio comes in clutch with the kill onto Johan. 1 versus 1. Diffuser's down upstairs. All the defenders have got to do is stay alive at this point. Sexy Cake was only a mere few seconds off picking up that kill there onto Castle.
So close, but Julio just managed to stay alive for just a few extra seconds there. We'll clutch it out, and Nip will find their first round on defense, which is very, very surprising considering how those rounds have been going. And just looking at what Liquid were doing on their attack, they were playing it very, very smart, getting the Armory wall open as quickly as they did. But I think the opening kill going into Ninjas in Pyjamas' favor completely turned around that round in particular, just because it's Nest going down that early. And as I said, that even though Liquid with their recent pickups don't rely on Nesk as much, they do often play around his entry.
Yeah, it can certainly shift the tide if you lose an influential player early on in the round, especially if he's playing on an operator and there's nothing really set up for him to do at that point. If there's not many static drones that have been set up, and it can kind of be taken, you know, pretty far out of the game if you get that kill early on. So yeah, that can prove pretty crucial. But I think for me, the way that upstairs was held was really, really good from Nip. They managed to do a great job, and I know that the Armory wall managed to be opened and all this sort of stuff, but just the way that Pino was peeking on the Valkyrie, it was just wasting so much time, and there was just so much uncertainty on the side of Liquid as to when they were able to push through. And I mean, Julio, we didn't hear a word from him all the way through that round, and then he comes in absolutely clutch at the end. But I mean, you can see there the scoreline is speaking for itself.
We don't hear a word from any of them. We can't hear their comments, unfortunately.
No listenings.
But we're going to move through into round number 10. Team Liquid just a couple of rounds away from locking out the map, but Ninjas in Pyjamas is encroaching on their territory fast and hard. Let's see how they do it now, as we will see an Armory Lockers and Archives defense once again. And again, the Clash coming out instead of the Maestro.
It didn't work last time, and I really just don't know how it'll work this time. We've got Gohan on the book yet again, so surely Gohan's going to know, he's going to get some good drone intel, he's going to go underneath. I mean, even if he didn't know there was a clash there, he'd be looking to go down and remove the bandit batteries and to disrupt anyone that could be playing on half wall. It does look as though they're playing it a little bit differently. Clash has actually got the gun out at the minute, not the shield. I mean, it's early on, so there's not real much value in her having the shield out at this stage, but she could surely be maybe challenging onto Break Room from CCTV and just, you know, causing some issue. I'd really like to see Clash buddied up with another player in this scenario, go downstairs and make Gohan's job a lot more difficult.
Yeah, rather than just letting herself get picked from below like what happened last time with Gohan. Go below, contest it, and, you know, not allow yourself to get a vertical play like that, because if you're playing right below the objective, vertical play can't really get used against you that well. So we're going to see how it does go down, as you see how Team Liquid are going to try and take their attack, but it's looking pretty good for them already. That's not a great start, though. He's going to lose one of his drones already. He's got another one, though. He's going to pop that out and see what he can do. Does take down one of the bandits. That's all just about he needs, really, here to stop this bandit trick from happening. And he droned it out. They know there's nothing there, and there we go. That's really good progress from Liquid already.
Yeah, to be able to get that wall open just about halfway into the round. Not a bad job indeed. Dockerby Call there is going to come out, which is going to make Psycho's job a little bit difficult here. He's really going to have to push back and give up a little bit of that pressure that he's able to apply to be able to answer that phone. Gohan surely should be going for some sort of a grenade toss at the minute. He's going underneath, trying to find that kill off a ping, but he's not able to. But what it is doing is it's forcing the remaining defenders on Nip to have to push over toward the archive side, and he's now going to be at the top of main stairs ready to deal with anything that he may find. We've got Bandit holding an angle. Bandit's pretty aware that someone could be on the main stairs at this point, so he's not really going to want to move too much and peek, but ultimately this is going to be on Gohan to try and make something happen here and push in through those beepers and pick the kill.
Well, he will toss out some nades to try and see what he can do here. He's opened up top of metal, but it's going to be Pino from the bottom metal. He goes for a run out as well, but what? SexyK jumps down on top of him and just Goomba stomps him. There goes Pino, and now it's a 4v4. This is actually looking really, really, really good for Liquid here. It's all going to be down to Wang to see if he can push off here, but Kamikaze's going to go down to the top of metal. SexyK takes him down as well. And Liquid starts to push in. Paolu, oh no, it's SexyK with another kill! Julio takes down Zig, but the revolver comes out from Paolu, who takes down Psycho. And now it's all down to Julio, who does still have a nitro, but it's a 3v1. The diffuser's going down, he doesn't peek it out. Paolu takes him down, and Liquid take round number 10. What a round from SexyK. Oh my god.
SexyK with the absolute play of the day. He basically jumped down straight onto his head, managed to pull out the SMG-12 and shoot him
I'm
right
pretty
in
sure
the
he's like
face.
15 for 3 or something like that right now. We'll see once we get the scoreboard up, but he's been doing work today for Liquid.
Well, I think he was on 12 for 3, wasn't he? He picked up 3k. Yeah, he's definitely he's up there. Very impressive from SexyK. I couldn't believe that he won that gunfight from the top of main stairs to, I think it was Jaeger prone in an objective. There was no way that gunfight is won by SexyK there peeking the top of the stairs with the SMG-12.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it, but we did mention Rampy's record yesterday of 22 kills dropped in one map. Liquid could pad their stats in. But I don't think it's going to happen.
It's
a fun thought experiment,
Protect your
I would
bombs
say.
from being
it'd have to go to an OT, I think, for us to see that many
Yeah,
kills.
he could get you know, an ace and then run out of time on the diffuser plant. But you know, we'll see how it does go down, as we will see exactly how Team Liquid are going to start out. What could potentially be their final attack here on Border. They've been looking very, very strong right now, and typically on Border, it is 50-50. But I would say that it does come more down to the defense, and seeing so many attacker wins in a row, I think a lot of it has come through not just from the entry from Nest, but SexyK's ability just to completely win every single gunfight he's been put into.
Yeah, SexyK picking up the kills when it matters. He's playing Dockerby as well, which you don't really associate that with a fragging operator. That's usually an operator that you're going to rely on to apply some smokes, apply some phone calls, root out some roamers. But I mean, Dockerby's guns aren't known to be fragging weapons. You've got a DMR and an SMG-12 with crazy recoil, but he's really able to make things work right now, and he's doing very well. I mean, we saw a very equal split in the first half of this game, 3 rounds going either way, but as soon as Liquid have got on the attack, they're just tearing away with this. They've won 3 rounds on attack now, having only lost 1, and they're very well placed to take this first map of Border.
They are very well placed indeed. It is going to be round number 11 getting underway. Liquid 1 round away from taking their first map on the path to the Invitational. Let's see how they are going to do it now. You see drones are going to be coming out here from Palu, and the exact same strat coming out every single time from Liquid, although this time they don't have the Bug, they do have the Thatcher.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to really guarantee this wall being opened in the Thatcher, but we've not seen all too much that the Thatcher's going to be able to deal with, maybe aside from disabling Evil Eyes. But a bit of a strange pick to bring out at this stage, seeing as the book seems to have been doing so well for Gohan this far. But the armory wall is going to get opened nonetheless. Paolo going to be holding that, just looking for some kills if he can. ADS there just going to get burnt out, possibly from the EMP that lands perfectly on the window. You can see there Gohan taking all of his grenade throwing experience for that one and getting the job done. Psycho going to pick up a kill onto Nesk, which is a pretty big kill because Nesk has been doing some good job, as we've mentioned, on the entry. So that's going to remove Zafir, and that's going to remove a lot of ability to be able to tell where players are playing in the site with Zafir's lifeline. Obviously, it explodes as soon as it's near somebody. So that's always a good indication of if someone's playing a tight corner, if you've got yourself to a position where there's no drones left, maybe. But a bit of a slower push, despite the fact that they've got a lot of control so far. Gohan there just looking for a kill, maybe into offices. Sexy Kate getting away into the CCTV there, and it's surely going to come pretty soon under the covering fire of the smokes from the Dockerby.
It should do indeed. The smoke's coming out, but we did mention it can be a bit of a crux. When you have smokes and you don't have a glass that can look through them, but there is a Maestro on the board that can look through the smokes for the defenders can actually play off the attacker smokes very, very well, but Wag is going to go down as well now. See the smoke off the board. That is a very important pick coming up. But Julio going to take down Palu, instantly trading out the kill from Palu there onto Kamikaze. Gohan finds one of his own and turns it into a 3v3. But Liquid are kind of all over the place right now, but Zig is going to make his entry. There goes Julio. Now they have armory control. Now they can start going for that plan. Dokkaebi calls Dooku out. See Smokes going through as well from Wag. And oh my god, Psycho just shuts down Gohan. He tries to move all the way through into the hallway. It's a 2v2. The repels come in. Sexy Kick covering the plan as it starts to go down from Zig. Sexy Kick just being prone here in sandwich. They don't know he's here, but now they do. The SMG-12 comes down, but they can't get the spray just down. The diffuser goes through. Zig gets the kill into Wag, and that's a double kill from him, Zig! Oh my god, he clutches it through the 2v1 from the captain himself. Liquid do take the map 7-4.
Zig going absolutely nuts there, picking up that final couple of kills. I saw the shotgun come out and I started to think to myself, this has got to be a round on the board for NiP. They're going to use that shotgun in the close quarter environment. But no, Zig there coming out with a really clutch couple of kills toward the end. Sexygate doing a great job of defending the plant. You can see there 15-4 for Sexygate. Paolu sitting pretty on 10-6 himself with a handful of assists. And I think that that's a very fair showing for Border. They did a great job.